I quit social media, and then I got addicted to YouTube. Let's rewind back 30 days. I'm sitting in my bed, it's late at night, and I just spent the last couple hours doom scrolling on social media, and I decided I had to stop, I had to make a change. So I made a goal. For the next 30 days, I wasn't going to use Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, no other forms of social media. I was done. As time went on, surprisingly, this wasn't that bad, and it didn't really affect my social life either. But there's just one problem. Those hours I was spending on social media all got funneled into just one place: YouTube. My screen time essentially stayed the exact same, but it just changed where all my time was on YouTube instead of across multiple platforms. This became a slippery slope because there's tons of great educational content on YouTube, but it was so easy to fall into a doom scroll of sports or internet drama or cat videos, and hours would pass where I would just mindlessly be watching it, and I only started because I convinced myself that watching this thing about history or economics was good, but 2 hours later, I'm watching Ludwig play Pokemon wondering where my life went. I knew I had to take back control because I went from one addiction to another. There's this really interesting phenomenon with elite distance runners. As an example, David Goggins was totally down on his life, and his extreme addiction and dedication to running essentially replaced his previous addiction for self-indulging. The author of the book Running Man was addicted to hard drugs for almost 20 years, and it ruined his relationships with his family, his spouse, friends. The only thing that got him out of it was essentially replacing that addiction with an insane drive to run crazy distances. In some ways, it's not about becoming unaddicted to social media, but instead replacing that with an addiction that you deem as healthy or enjoyable in your life. There's examples of people doing the exact opposite, where they have self-destructive behaviors and it gets replaced with an insane obsession with their body image, and they start to track everything they consume and go to the gym for hours and hours a day. And sure, working out is a healthier habit, but when it controls your life just as much as the other thing, is it actually better? I don't know. These are complex questions that everybody needs to decide for their own because it's their life. But I came to a conclusion with 3 outcomes that I wanted to share with you. Number 1, look at your time as dollars. The most valuable thing that you have are the 24 hours you're given each and every single day. And you're going to keep getting those 24 hours every day until one day it's going to be less than 24, and you never know for sure when that day is. Because your time is so valuable, everybody is trying to get it. Advertisers, friends, family, your boss. Some of those are good, some are bad, but ultimately it's up to you to decide. When you spend hours and hours on TikTok or Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube, it's the same thing as saying that these 4 hours of my day, the most valuable thing that I can do is to give it all to Mark Zuck. Even though we don't actually say that, our actions show that. That's my first takeaway. I need to be very conscious of the only resource I have that is so precious, I can't take time to waste it, no pun intended. The second outcome is I need to create and not consume. The only reason that social media platforms have any value is because people choose to spend time on them. The majority of time that people are spending is not creating, but consuming. This allows the few people who own the platform to make ridiculous sums of money from advertisers and people selling your attention. It's through becoming addicted to YouTube that I realized the only way out was to either leave the ecosystem completely or create and get on the other side of the equation. Third outcome is my personal favorite. You look at a situation and think, 10 years in the future, if I could get advice for myself, what would my future self say? And when I think about YouTube, my future self would say either get off the platform completely and go do something else useful, or use social media as a creator to open up doors that otherwise would forever be closed. If you're addicted to social media, the person who ultimately is choosing to spend their precious time on that activity is you. And you're the only one who can change where that time is spent. Next time you go to click on an app, stop and think, would I really spend an hour of my precious time that I can never get back giving it to someone else? I think you and I both know the answer, but it's up to you to act on it. And that doesn't mean it's easy, but I'm moving in the right direction, and I know you can too. You're awesome. See ya.